All right, happy Monday, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Crypto with English. So, for anybody who's seen my recent post across social media, today's theme is going to be digital Bitcoin art in the form of UDAs. So, today we are showcasing and featuring DIBA. Now, this is a very innovative company that is positioning itself as a game changer in the digital art world in the form of its UDAs. And we're going to deep dive into why this project may have that certain edge that will truly flip the script in this space. And, to speak candidly as well, digital art is great, but, I think it's time for kind of a fresher type of trend or a fresher presentation of this. And because I keep hearing this, a lot of the same is being generated in this space. So if you've seen like Bored Ape Yacht Club, I couldn't tell you how many versions of that I've seen by subsequent artists and things like that. So I'd like to warmly welcome today's guest, Anastasiia Ilicheva. So she handles public relations and business development at DIBA. And Anastasiia, it is an absolute pleasure having you here today and to deep dive into this. Especially UDAs and getting really into kind of the weeds with this, digital art that's being built on top of what Bitcoin has already constructed, through the Lightning Network and, through its base layer. So thank you very much for coming on today.
Thank you. Thank you, Adam, for having me today here. So I think it's better to clarify like the term UDA for our
Yes.
listeners. So UDA is unique digital assets. We are trying to move from the term NFT since it's more associated and related to Ethereum protocol.
Right.
So we come up with the term UDA as unique digital assets on top of Bitcoin.
Right. And when, I guess you could say when marketing this as UDAs, unique digital assets, did you encounter, maybe any, any road bumps like along the way? Like, did people ever try to tell you, oh, maybe you should still call this an NFT despite this is built on Bitcoin or something like that?
Well, I would lie if I would say that we're not using term NFTs
Yeah.
anymore. We're still using them. We still mention it on the website, but we using term NFT just to make people more relatable to what term UDA is. So
Right.
far, I think we didn't have any negativity towards it, but only support, since people who are more tech oriented or more interested in tech,
Right.
obviously they would love to have this distinction in terms of like if non-fungible tokens initially related to ERS smart contracts.
Right.
So UDAs, they're related to Bitcoin, so
Bitcoin.
it
Yeah.
should be a different technical name. I think in terms of artists, they're just like also excited, and because there are different trends, unfortunately, in the world.
Right.
Some people are really excited about NFTs, but there are also some kind of hate waves or something, even on Twitter or out of Twitter in real life, then people kind of negative towards like term NFTs because
Right.
some people meet in this term only when they're reading about some scams or like this amount of NFT being
Right.
stolen. So I think it's kind of a great opportunity since we bring in digital assets on back, not
Yeah.
like person, but back to Bitcoin. I think it would be great to use just a bit different technical name for it.
Yeah, and by the way, I agree. And in fact, UDA, unique digital art, when you say it out loud, it actually kind of flows better. NFT, non-fungible token. I guess as far as maybe marketing or just through language, UDA does seem to sound nicer, to say the least. you know, and I think like what you said, NFTs, and I think a lot of both the good and bad that have really come out of that space. I think a need for differentiation or a need for distinction is needed, so to say. So, and I like the fact that you pointed out the difference. So, a non-fungible token being Ethereum derived or Ethereum based, using smart contracts to essentially mint a piece of art. So, using Bitcoin and the Lightning Network and their base layer, how much faster and let's say how much cheaper or cost efficient is it? Because this is relatively new, I would have to say, and I can't really I can't say I've really seen anybody else doing this. So I'm very fascinated.
Well, I think finally we'll realize prices when we will launch, since we are still in pre-launch stage. We have
Yeah.
like internal testing going on at the moment. So obviously, like Ethereum gas fees, like now they're lower, but when it was NFT boom, they were
Oh
crazy.
yeah.
Even if
That's
you
right.
wanted to buy something for $20, you need to pay kind of 70 plus in gas
Right.
fee. And I think even I was like, I was looking on some like NFTs, and I was just curious because I just like it. And it was like looking fun. And I was like, oh yeah, why not? And when I look on the gas fees, I was like, no, no way. Um, with the Lightning Network and obviously like with the implementation of Taproot, like later on,
Right.
uh, basically at the moment we can't really say for sure what the initial gas fee is going to be, but we believe it's going to be like lower than $20 100%.
Right.
So so far when we were like doing testing, we saw some around like $6,
Yeah.
but I don't want to say, to be honest, like prices at the moment in terms of gas fees, because we're still working on it.
Right.
And I don't want to give like proper fake promises, when I was saying like,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
$5 and later on it's not, and they're like, oh,
Yeah.
Anastasiia told, and I'm like, me and my long time, yeah.
Yeah, right. No, I totally understand that. But regardless, this is going to be a very efficient way to mint, digital art, going forward. And as you mentioned, one of the biggest issues has been Ethereum gas prices, especially during kind of the uh, NFT boom or craze from especially last year. So, like I said, I am particularly, excited for, this project. So, UDA, unique, digital arts. Is this a term that DIBA came up with? Is this something that, let's say, maybe another tech company came up? This term is relatively, new to say the least. I have little familiarity, unique digital art though. But how did the term come about?
Okay, so I will just correct you a bit because it's unique digital asset, not art.
Sorry, art. Yes,
Okay, I
unique
think
digital
art is also
assets.
acceptable.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, we come up with this term since we also build Bitmask, the Bitcoin wallet extension, which
Right.
would be able to use to keep your UDAs, because you need to keep them somewhere,
Right.
obviously. And they're all like no technology. So basically, apart from building marketplace, we also created Bitmask wallet extension.
Right.
And because we are building like with RGB, like on top of RGB smart contracts, so later on people will be also able to issue tokens on top of RGB,
Right.
attached to Bitcoin, and they also would be able to keep them in a Bitmask. So
Right.
that's why we're using like terms like digital unique asset. I think it's more came from like our team.
Right.
We are having like some educational like posts on social media like TikToks, Instagram
Right.
Reels,
Yeah.
LinkedIn, in terms of the term. So far, I think everyone was like positive towards it, and also on Twitter and supporting this term. So we will see how it's going to be in terms of mass adoption.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's going to time, because like still 20% of world population knows about NFTs, and now UDA is
Right.
coming, and for them I think it would be like, come on guys, we just learned what is NFT, and now it's kind of
Yeah.
similar thing, but it's UDA. But why it's UDA? But we are ready for these questions, but what can we do? So far I think, yeah,
Right.
it's just this term coming from us mostly.
Yeah. No, that's pretty cool. And unique digital assets. So for clarification, UDA, unique digital assets. I will commit this to
Exactly.
memory and memorize it. But this actually sounds like something. It sounds like a very formal, like almost investment type of class. So if I was to go and I guess I would say, hypothetically, if I was to talk to one of my relatives who doesn't really know about crypto or blockchain, and if I was to say, hey, would you like to buy an NFT? I think the answer would be flat out no. But if I said unique digital assets, I think I might have a shot.
I like how it
Dude.
sounds. I'm probably gonna make a cut out
It
of this
sound
and post it
it sounds
everywhere.
good.
It sounds good, guys. You need to be more interested in UDAs rather than NFTs because it sounds good.
Yeah. Absolutely. And moving forward, for this, I guess you could say, new asset class, or this new investment class within, you could say, digital art. How many artists are Diva, working with at the moment?
Since we are in pre-launch stage, we haven't launched officially. We have MOUs with the artist for the first Genesis drop, and also
Right,
the artist who gonna collaborate with us before even launch.
right.
I can't disclose it yet because
Sure,
we
of course.
haven't made kind of press releases on it, and still some documents in the process of signing.
Right.
So it would be kind of not
Yeah.
legally correct from my side to
Right.
announce
I understand.
at the moment. When we're gonna launch, the DIBA will work on kind of two formats. It's gonna be obviously open market, where
Yeah.
everyone will be able to make drops to mint the NFTs, mint the UDAs. Yeah, it's also, it's like also I think sometimes crushes my head because I'm
Right.
getting the serious term. And also we will have curated drops, where the drops would be curated either by Diba, by our curators, or it's going to be in collaboration with art galleries, when it's
Right.
going to be curated more on the behalf of the gallery. So we having a look on these kind of two pathways. So
Right.
giving everyone possibility to be part of the community, but also being able to collaborate with more kind of established and well-known artists in the space.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think we're all seeing now all of these, digital art galleries are popping up everywhere. So whether it's New York, whether it's Miami, Los Angeles, and even overseas as well, digital art is here to stay. So whether it becomes, I guess you could say, whether it stays within the realm of NFTs, Ethereum based, or perhaps the next phase is migrating into something such as unique digital assets like DIBA on essentially the Lightning Network and the Bitcoin base layer. This is a very, very interesting time for just digital art, period. And without a doubt, the format, or you could at least say the formula for which digital art is made, eventually it is going to migrate or evolve into something else. So when there's another alternative that is more efficient than, let's say, traditional Ethereum based, I guess you could say, whether it's art or dApps or something like that, perhaps DIBA is probably going to be one of the options a lot of artists may consider, because I've had many NFT artists on the show, and I've had many NFT art gallery entrepreneurs on the show and whatnot, and whether it's on the artists or whether it's on the art gallery, one of the big issues is Ethereum gas prices, generally speaking, are still very, very expensive. And if you want to kind of mint something cheaper, sometimes it depends on the time of day. And, if you're in different time zones, with your team, especially with everybody working remotely, sometimes that can be a little bit difficult, so to say. So, looking at this, I'm very hopeful as to where digital art is going to be going. So I think this is really, really awesome. And who knows, maybe by next year, people are going to start using unique digital assets more frequently, and in fact, may actually be a better term, generally speaking. I mean, it just sounds better. It has a certain credibility to it. Unique digital asset. I mean, that could include art. That could include a whole lot of things.
Yeah. I'm really excited. I'm happy that you like the term. And I think what's more important, it's more about like also users' privacy. And it's what we are focusing on at DIBA, like
Right,
sovereignty and privacy. For example, even the way we are building BitMask wallet,
right,
it's like no one can just like, what's the problem, for example, of MetaMask and Ethereum, like the NFTs at the moment?
right,
Anyone can airdrop, send you random spam NFTs, and
right.
you can't hide them. So basically on OpenSea you can't hide them, so everyone will see them, even they're embarrassing, even though you didn't buy them. But
Oh,
because
yeah,
they're airdropped, You can't do anything about it. The way we're looking on the platform and on the users in general, we want them to have the most control over their assets.
Right.
On the platform, they would be able to control their privacy settings. So it's either they would love to show their assets to other users, or they can keep them private to themselves. So they have
Right.
an account, but not everyone can see them.
Right.
And also the way we are building Bitmask, it's like no one can send you random NFT. Like
Right.
before even getting the UDA, you need to accept it, you need to confirm it. So
Right.
you will not have like spam or random like UDAs in your wallet and
Yeah.
you're thinking, oh my God, how to burn them or what should I do with them?
Right.
But yeah, it's just we're trying to create more safe space and more private space for users, because if we are speaking all the time about decentralization and the focus on the privacy and sovereignty, so what we can do from our side as well to keep it this way. So
Right.
I think one of the features of Bitmask which kind of surprised beta testers, because we had our first beta testing in December, so we had
Right.
first one and the second one. And because with every transaction in Bitmask, your private key is changing.
Right.
And because it's kind of
True.
new
Yeah.
approach,
Yeah.
yeah, we had users being confused, like, why am I like, oh, we think it's a glitch. The like the
Right. If there's a glitch or
private
something wrong with the wallet. Yeah.
yeah, the private
Yeah.
key is changing. Like I haven't done it, and we're like, yeah,
Right.
it's one of the features, so it's even harder to identify you.
Right.
It's kind of less probability that someone gonna hack you. It's like
Right.
with OpenSea, recent hack, what happened. It's
Right.
like they because they were moving to another smart contract and everyone was receiving emails and people were signing it with their MetaMask wallet.
Right.
And after hacker were getting access to their private key, everything was disappearing from the wallet. So it's
Oh wow.
what we are trying to protect users from. That's why private key is changing with every transaction.
Yeah.
So now it's testing. Obviously, it's
Yeah.
still beta, it's still testing, but I think even in reality, it proves the fact that it wouldn't be possible to hack. Obviously,
Right.
if someone wants to try to hack us, we are more than welcome. We have some hackers trying to hack, and we were really open to this
No,
because
that is confidence right there.
testing.
You want
So
to
yeah.
hack us? Try us. That's
Yeah,
great.
but it's good. It's like it's a trial, it's a test. So yeah, if someone will decide, we are more than welcome to our
Yeah.
Discord. Let us
Right.
know how it was going.
Yeah. That's great. Yeah. Now I have a MetaMask account, but I've never received, like, let's say, random drops or NFT art, but I have heard of that happening to other people. So, if people are randomly, let's say, receiving, digital art, isn't mostly done by hackers. So, let's say if I just got into cryptocurrency and NFTs and digital art today, and I just set it up, and all of a sudden, I start getting random art pieces, so to say, from, obviously unknown people. Is that mostly done by hackers? Because I would imagine people just don't just generously give away NFT art, so to say.
Well, I believe we're already in the industry, and it's like crypto NFT industry in general. It's like lots of scams and hackers,
Yeah.
because there are many kind of loops to make kind of money, not in ethical but quick
Right.
way.
Right.
So obviously, not all airdrops and like people into your wallet. It's just like it's hackers. No, it's kind of a like marketing efforts and
Got it.
people dropping airdrops. You can also like maybe retweet some Twitter or something. I remember Binance was doing this. They had like kind of
Oh.
card thing, and you needed to retweet and say something. In this case, they were sending, and after that, you go in through the link, and they were sending you something. I also have this heart just because I was interested how it works, like through
Yeah.
Twitter. So to be honest, it was like really long time ago, but I remember I was even doing it just because I was kind of more curious.
Right.
Um, and also another way, yeah, it's also kind of hack attacks on your wallet with the airdrops,
Yeah.
because if you decide why are people afraid to burn them, because when you burning them is when the moment the hacker can get access to your account
Oh, okay.
and get everything from there. So I can't go really
Got it.
technical because obviously I'm not the developer and
No,
I
but
can't
that's definitely
really
good to
say
know.
stuff.
So when
But
you burn it, that's kind of when they get you. Very interesting. That makes sense, though.
That's
So
why people usually,
yes,
yeah, keeping the NFTs and afraid to kind of burn them. But
yeah,
mostly on the attacks, it's kind of famous people because it's kind of beneficial for the project. For example, for collectibles or something, they can say, "Oh, Gary V or Logan Paul,
right.
they have our NFTs. Like, go to their OpenSea account,
Oh
have a
yeah,
look. Yeah, they do have it." And they kind of like name dropping, famous
right.
people doing trust of others. And usually projects who are doing this, nothing good is happening at the end. They're just collecting money and running away.
Right. Yeah. No, and that definitely makes sense. So with DIBA, and now you can essentially create unique digital assets from this, such as art. So I would imagine, in the future, people can probably start creating like dApps or like games off of this too. Like all the stuff that we're seeing in the metaverse and whatnot. So is there any, are there any plans for that, migrating, I guess once, the digital art is, kind of all good and set up, um, some sort of metaverse or gaming project. Is that something in the future too?
Well, obviously, we will consider these possibilities. So far, obviously, we are more focused to deliver the great products in the
Right,
face of DIBA as a marketplace and a Bitmask as a wallet. Um,
right,
like game developers, yeah, getting in touch with us, like Metaverse is getting in touch with us to stay close and to stay on the loop on all updates because, okay, obviously, we are building like using the RGB smart contracts, like
right,
RGB protocol. RGB is around for a while, like from 2016, yeah. But in 2019, it's Maxim Orlovsky, amazing Maxim Orlovsky, who literally wrote
oh yeah,
95% of the code,
oh
who
yeah,
stepped in, and he's like the head of all RGB project, and they're working hard. But since like UDA is on Bitcoin and a new thing because the way it's structured, yeah, it's because let's think it's using the RGB protocol and it's also using
right,
not Lightning, but initially the UDA going to be attached to UTXO, so that's why it's going to have inherited value of Bitcoin
right,
within it because it's attached to UTXO.
right,
So since we are tokenless, we're not using any tokens, we are not sidechain, but the asset is really directly attached to Bitcoin.
yeah,
It's kind of needs more time to be worked on, and that's why we also have like lots of test nets and we are checking everything. So yeah, I think by the end of our today's podcast, I will
Mhm.
tell some exciting news which were
Oh
not kind of
awesome,
announced yet
right.
about the test net and etc. But yeah, I hope I answered the question because I
No,
realized
that's fine.
things
Yeah.
I get lost.
Yeah, yeah, and it is a lot of like technical knowledge to throw around as well, and this is pretty new stuff. I have to say, and I think it's very ambitious. I think it's very cool that you know your company, DIBA, is creating digital art using a Bitcoin, really a Bitcoin based platform here, using Lightning and using its base layer. Do you think that UDAs, unique digital assets, do you think that will increase or affect the price of Bitcoin? So let's say when DIBA takes off, people are minting these unique these UDAs and creating art from it. Do you think that will eventually affect the price of Bitcoin? So let's say this becomes more popular. Do you think it will make Bitcoin increase in value over time?
Hopefully, yes, it would be great to also to have
Yeah.
part to have part in that kind of bull
Right.
market, like Diva's contribution. Since we're using like UTXO unspent transactions, I'm not sure if it will have like a direct kind of influence on the Bitcoin
Yeah.
price, but obviously with the mass adoption, it would be because the more adoption, the less kind of Bitcoin we have, like people with the opportunity to buy it. So obviously, it's going to
Right.
increase in price. So it's all about like limited, limited
Yeah.
access. So I don't know. I think we will see because still it's just like yeah, we're in the stage of mass adoption of crypto, of Bitcoin. We kind on the
Right.
early stage of adoption of NFTs. Okay, some people at least heard about it, and I think it's already a
Right.
good sign that someone heard about it. So the next stage is just adoption of UDAs and bringing UDAs back home to Bitcoin and see how
Right.
they taking it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. This is uh this is definitely awesome. And how did you join this project? So, for I think for many that know, you were very active in the blockchain space with, much of the hackathon competition work you've been involved with. So how did you come onto this project?
I think I'm pretty lucky because Gideon, who is initial founder of World Blockchain Hackathon,
Yes.
he's founder of DIBA. And since we were working on the World Blockchain Hackathon with Babylon projects together, we had kind of like neat team, when
Right.
you work together greatly, like benefits and drawbacks of each
Sure.
other as
Yeah.
a team member. And yeah, since like this like it's like the discussions ideas appeared, I was really excited, so I wanted to join on board immediately.
Right.
And we start working on DIBA, I would say like last February. On the last Bitcoin Miami conference, our team, I wasn't there unfortunately because I'm London based.
Right.
Our team was pitching and we were top 10 finalists at Bitcoin Miami pitch. And after that, our team start like we were like in fundraising stage. Our team started growing, so everything started going faster. But
Yeah.
I'm kind of like Diba OG, joining
Awesome.
from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say because I was at the convention last year. Did Deba have? I think Deba, you guys had your own like kind of like presentation or little like kiosk section. Because I'm looking, now that we're talking about it, now you mentioned Bitcoin, 2021. I think I saw Deba. I think I recall actually seeing Deba at the convention last year. So that's awesome. How this kind of went full circle now.
Oh my god! Yeah, no, we didn't have kiosk. We were pitching. We had presentation.
Yes, yes. Now I remember.
Yeah, maybe if it just like was like kind of the black screen with like deep white big letters and like yellow
Right.
lightning, most probably it was
Right.
us.
Yeah, and by the way, that's a really cool logo, especially with the lightning, you're using the lightning, network and whatnot. So, how, I'm kind of curious though, I'm surprised nobody tried, doing this earlier. And by the way, it's incredible that Devo's doing it, but, it kind of makes me wonder, why was everybody, let's say, you know, making NFTs using Ethereum, based platforms? DIBA is actually doing this off of a Bitcoin, based one. Like you would think, like, oh wow, like you know, you would think a lot of people would have been trying to do that earlier, and now it's DIBA who's actually the one that's doing it. So I think that's pretty cool.
Well, like it's gonna be light to say that people were not trying. People were
Right,
trying.
right,
First, we can have a look on color coins, Bitcoin 1.0.
yeah,
But the tokens kind of they were issued, but because the community was not tightened together, so
sure,
there were kind of different perspectives of how people were looking on these assets. So the community was not strong. I think the market was not really strong and not ready for this opportunity yet,
right,
so the project wasn't really successful. Also, there are other attempts, but mostly it's either side chain or it's
yes,
the token. You need to have token. Um,
right,
yeah, we also obviously we have like project like Rare Peeps, which is like issued through counterparty, if I'm
right,
right. But
yeah,
they also like they have XCP token. If
OXP, yeah.
yeah, yeah, I'm sometimes afraid about my pronunciation. Yeah.
No, 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 you're absolutely fine. Please continue.
So yeah, I'm double checking in my head if I'm saying something right or no. Um, so yeah, it would be dishonest to say no, there are no attempts. But in terms of
Right,
attempts making the platform and making assets being attached to Bitcoin without necessity for any tokens,
right,
it's kind of like RGB focus and the way they're working. They you don't need. don't need tokens. So you don't need to come to our platform, buy extra tokens, and
Right.
after that buy the unique digital assets which are attached to Bitcoin. It kind of doesn't make sense. So you would be able to buy with sats, with like satoshis, like with Bitcoin, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So you don't need to make any kind of extra movements, and that's
Yeah.
why we kind of believe, and it's just like you still need to buy tokens or it's side chain. Yeah, so for marketing purpose, it's really cool to use like, oh, NFTs on Bitcoin, but technically they're not really on Bitcoin.
Right. Right.
And I think like that's the main thing, like in community, in every industry in general. It's just the way marketing and wording is used.
Right.
So obviously there are some platforms. I will probably not mention the names because I don't want to create this like
Right. I
competition.
understand.
But yeah, in terms of just being directly attached to Bitcoin and has an inherent value of Bitcoin, DIBA
Right.
is the first like on the market so far.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and I will say, and like you mentioned, not to mention, any names of, other companies, competitors out there, but I've made a few NFTs, not in a serious way, but like pictures of my dog, so to say. So, I've used,
Interesting choice.
huh?
Interesting choice.
Yeah, yes, that's right. So I have a Shiba Inu, so it's the same mascot as Dogecoin. So I made some of her, and I used some of the more Ethereum-based platforms. But one of the things that I encountered was you kind of have to buy additional tokens, and then there's the issues of the gas fee. So something that kind of I took from my iPhone, and then I just kind of uploaded it and added some effects. It's like I'm like, wow, this thing costs like $110 to mint right now. I'm like, what the hell, you know? But I'm very happy to see that a solution like DIBA is certainly fixing that issue, to say the least.
Thank you for kind words. Um, no, but to be honest, if you will decide to mint your dog again, there are some platforms which are trying to help artists to
Right,
adapt the market, and they're providing kind of free minting for some of
right,
them. And I think it's kind of really also great cause of actions for some maybe emerging artists, especially
right,
that there are some platforms that providing like free minting just
right.
so more artists can get involved and benefit from the trends.
Right, right. And with Diva, so since this is, a Bitcoin, based platform for unique digital assets, what about some of like the Bitcoin forks? Do you think they will have, a place in this one day? So like, some of the ones out there that come to mind, like Bitcoin Cash, for instance, or Bitcoin Diamond. Like, there's a few of them out there. Do you think this platform will include maybe using or utilizing some of those other forks out there, so to say?
Well,
Right. That might
politcurity.
be a little bit out of the box right now, but that's but like I said, I see a lot of potential in this, and so my the gears in my head are going right now.
Well, I think maybe we will consider it. I would not say for sure. So for now, we are like more focusing on Bitcoin and Sats,
Right,
and it's what we are interested in, and it's what we want to bring to the market. So we also
right,
want to cover Bitcoin market. We want to cover Bitcoin community. There are also many Bitcoin artists. But if you're not only focusing on like Bitcoin supporters or Bitcoin artists or Bitcoin kind of art collectors, um, I think we also providing an additional market space for the artists who are
yeah,
already out there, but we are also trying to educate people that okay, as an artist, maybe sometimes you kind of don't really care about the technology behind your work, but
sure,
you want just to sell, make money quickly, and maybe your art gonna disappear because if, for
right,
example, it's like still, I don't know, maybe testnet or something goes wrong, or the marketplace, like the developers make some shortcuts, so basically your NFT not really secured. But what we also want to establish it just seems like Bitcoin is like original blueprint of blockchain technology and its
right,
mass adoption and just like the currency, yeah, if you're gonna call Bitcoin currency,
Right.
everyone is talking around the world, governments considering it as an
Yeah.
official currency or banning it because maybe they're
Right.
scared that they're gonna have a really great competitor,
Yeah.
um, like towards the central banks. So it's like it's the main, like also like the trade is longevity of your
Yeah.
asset, because you have like it's attached to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not going anywhere, so your assets can exist like as long as Bitcoin, and we really Bitcoin will exist forever because
Right.
we don't have one owner of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah. Yeah. For sure. And from what I've seen in digital art, having a community is very, very important to launch a successful project. So, tell me about DIBA's Discord channel and Telegram and some of the things that your team is doing to build the community, because it looks to me for digital art, whether it's, let's say, Ethereum NFT based or this, it seems like there's a working formula to make something successful. Having a Discord, having a Telegram, kind of having that community, presence. So can you kind of explain and talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Okay, if we speak probably about NFT collectibles and how it works in terms of growing community, usually it's either it's a tracking bot on Discord. So if you want to get whitelisted, you need to invite 20 friends. Like I'm usually joking, like you need to invite 20 friends, dance around fire, record it, send to us, change your name,
Right.
add the perfect name to your name. But I think like this style, okay, it's kind of works for the collectibles, and if you want to get on the whitelist, it's in terms of like invites, it's giveaways,
Right.
it's retweeting, and etc. And from one perspective, maybe it was kind of nice at the beginning, but now it's really tiring for the community. And I think even I didn't kind of join some projects, even though I like them, I like the idea behind it. It was related to women empowerment, and I'm all the time
Right.
supporting these topics.
Sure.
But to get on the whitelist, I needed to change the nickname on Discord, on Twitter, send the proof. So it invite 20 people, do something else.
Right.
Honestly, I just looked at this and I was like, okay, I support women. I'm doing another work in a space. It's enough from my side.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
can imagine.
don't really want this collectible that much. Maybe if I really want it, I would do it. But that's why you also can go, for example, on Fever, and you will see now these jobs appearing like Discord invites. So you can pay
Right.
money for
Right.
someone, and you're gonna get these bots as like your friends whom you invited.
Yeah.
Um, so I think we kind of more believe in like real community building. And I know our statistics, so I know how many people watching us but not following yet. And for marketing person, it's usually painful and upsetting. Like you check us.
Right.
I even have people probably who checking out like news, like for example, Instagram stories like on daily basis, but they
Right.
still didn't follow us. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what's the problem?
I
It's
hear
just
you.
like
Yeah.
not like relationship stuff, or it's just like I'm friend of your ex, and that's why you're not
Right.
following our company. But it's a company.
Right.
Um, so we have like we had really active Discord when it was beta testing going
Okay.
on Bitmask. The
Yeah.
same with the Telegram. We were staying quiet for a bit, just because we needed to realize the announcements
Right.
want to give to our community with what is coming. And that's why like
Right.
our community was like a bit, I would say, kind of quiet also because we were
Right.
quiet, they were quiet for a while. And also we were staying quiet for a week because of the situation in the world between like Russia and Ukraine.
Right.
So we given space on all platforms to for people to be able to share news. So we will try and like to stay quiet. We also make our statement, but we were
Right.
trying to give more space to the issue going in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we are coming back because we have honestly like so many exciting news. Also, that our team is growing, that we have a new team member, amazing
Oh,
developer
that's
Hunter
nice.
joined us on board. Um, also like the thing what I said before, it's we're gonna come to Miami Bitcoin conference
Awesome.
again this year, so everyone would be able to meet us in the gallery, and it's very,
Excellent.
and if you come in, I think you're gonna be also excited because it's the place like in gallery where we're gonna do testnet of UDAs one on one.
Oh, very
So
nice.
yeah, I think I haven't announced it yet on our social media, so it's like the first place I'm saying this.
All
um,
right.
so yeah, our team gonna be happy to meet everyone like at Miami Bitcoin conference, a bit in a different role. If like around like 7 months ago, it was in June, if I'm right.
Yeah, it was in June. Correct.
Yeah, we were coming as just pitching like finalists, and
Yeah.
this year we already coming as like part of the conference. Our team gonna be giving presentations, gonna be in gallery, and it's where we're gonna start testnet of DIBA.
All right, everybody, listen to that. So be on the lookout for DIBA at Bitcoin 2022 in really, excuse me, just a few weeks. So that's coming right up. I'm very excited about that. I have a question from a marketing standpoint. What do you think is actually like the best way to build a community? Because I've had people contact me, and like some people that I've met, they either really love Discord or they're really just kind of like confused by it, so to say. Because it's really cool, but I think it's also maybe not intuitive for some. Um, so I'm kind of wondering from like your perspective, is like things like Telegram and WhatsApp, or are those kind of better alternatives sometimes in terms of building a community?
I would say yes, and I
Yeah.
think with Discord, it's honestly it's love hate relationships for everyone.
Yes. Yes.
Either
Absolutely.
you love it or either you hate it. When I started first time using Discord, I was ready to cry. I was like, oh my god, um, I'm stupid. Like what I'm doing here. In terms like okay, like let's think about it. If we most of the projects who are moving to Discord and Telegram, it's crypto related, NFT related projects, and we
Yeah.
are all supporting decentralization. If you're going to think about more popular social media profiles, it's just like Instagram, Facebook,
Right.
WhatsApp, Twitter, they all kind of all together.
Right.
So
That's a good point.
Telegram, the good point of the Telegram is um, it, to be honest, like the Telegram has proved already a couple of times that no matter what's going on, they
Right.
still stay in live, first of all, and they also not disclosing some information. And at the
Oh,
same time, I think the structure of Telegram allows you a couple of different ways of creating your community. It's either more as the group chat, a huge group chat for your
right.
participants, or you can create it in more in kind of, I would say, publication style. So
Yeah.
people can write comments there, they can still speak, they
Right.
can still get in touch with you, but you're going to be the main narrative of all this channel.
Right. Right.
With Discord, I think it's also a great opportunity of distributing lots of information. So can you
Yes.
imagine if all
Yes.
information on Discord, how you on Twitter, it's gonna be lost in threads.
Oh,
If
yeah. Absolutely. That's a very good point.
Instagram, even guides not gonna help you. Obviously Facebook and LinkedIn has the same issues, but it allows you to create kind of separation and also to allow, for example, people to choose roles on Discord. And I think it's also kind of the great function. You can kind of differentiate who's like artists, who are collectors, who maybe
Right.
together, developers. So I believe it's like easier to stay in touch with
Right.
everyone. I'm not saying like social media like Twitter, Instagram not important. It is. It's also like fastest way to be on top of trends, also communicate with community.
Right.
But coming back to your question, I think it's kind of okay. There are different formulas. Also, you can buy bots. There are
Right.
paid advertisements, or someone can send you lots of direct messages on Instagram, and I think you also receiving them since you're using
Yeah.
hashtags like
Yeah.
NFT script. After that, you're on their radar, and it's in like requests are coming nonstop.
Right.
So people outside of it, okay, everyone still can do it. It's still if it's still happening, it means it still gets attention.
Yeah.
But I believe like in organic way and real way how you grow in your community, it's that you really have support and belief of community in you.
Yeah.
if you're probably leader of opinions, or they can see what you're doing differently. Even for people like nowadays, I think most people they can check, but they probably will not even follow, because
Right,
everyone trying to stay away from lots of noise we're having on daily basis.
right,
So I think kind of for each reason, it's like a particular path how you can build the community,
right.
and there are many options. It just depends what you want to choose and how you want to do it.
Very good point. And in fact, I share your same feeling. When I first used Discord, this had to have been maybe a year and a half ago. Uh, it was frustrating. I'm like, what the hell is this? When I first used it. But like you said, it is way more better. It's way more efficient to deliver a lot more information. Like you said, if I was to try to like put the same, let's say, bunch of information on Twitter, it's gonna get lost in threads. It's gonna get cluttered and it's just gonna get messy. So to say, Discord is infinitely way better for things like that. I was going to ask you, when it comes to DIBA, are you going to do any like AMAs, like Ask Me Anything on things like Clubhouse or similar platforms as well for people to like get to know you and the project a little bit more?
We were running Let's Talk. It's called Let's Talk. We
Okay,
had every Thursday on Clubhouses. We were running rooms, and it was at the beginning of the year. And I think the last room we had it was around May, June.
right,
I think even in summer, I would not like, maybe even in August. So we're running Clubhouse rooms, getting to know artists, learning their opinion on the marketplaces they have currently, learning their opinion about NFTs, what, for example, missing, what, like, listening about like their thoughts on the wallets or how it's for them. For example, if you find an artist and you stepped into the NFTs and digital art, how you feel,
right,
what is confusing for you. So we were like kind of listening to, we were trying to see what is missing, what is needed, what's the current problems. Later on, we were running the Twitter Spaces.
got it.
So also telling people more about the DIBA, about Bitmask, about the Bitmask demo testing. So we will renew this again. We're also maybe considering to start kind of weekly YouTube highlights about DIBA, about like Bitcoin, just like short ones. Um,
Right, right,
so we're still thinking about the best format, because obviously we're sharing news on our social media just like this. But for sure we're gonna, I believe, closer to the Miami Bitcoin conference or during the Miami Bitcoin conference, when the testnet will be live. We will do these sessions probably like on Instagram, Twitter, and Clubhouse, just to give more probably explanation, just to maybe clear some things up in terms of, for example,
yeah,
private keys being changed within your
right,
wallet with each transaction. So of
right,
course we'll do it again. We will renew it. We just needed to make some kind of, I would not say like adjustments, but it's like this moment it wasn't kind of the right.
right.
So yeah, we're gonna be back with this again.
And by the way, I have to say, using Bitmask as a wallet and as a solution, it's a pretty good idea with the private keys changing like that, especially with a lot of the security concerns and hacking, that's out there as well. So I think once kind of the private key thing is explained, I think a lot of people are going to start going towards Bitmask to keep their unique digital assets. See, I'm going to make myself get used to saying this, a lot more UDAs. I'm glad, I think this term is going to start becoming mainstream and, hopefully, starting here. So I think it's really a great term. And I know I've been harping on this though, but it's almost, it's a broader, but also in some ways it's kind of a more accurate, term at the same time, as well. So that's great. And by the way, just to give like the audience some like context, so like, um, and Anastasia, you were probably one of the first ones I think to give me some pointers when I started kind of creating content. I think about a year and a half ago. So long before I started doing the live stream, I was putting out like these small
TikTok.
2 to 3 minute TikTok videos, and TikTok really has a good, it's a very convenient like video editing tool that it has in there. So I was putting out those, and I think one of the things I was trying to do at first was trying to get more like views and interaction, and you were the one who suggested actually using kind of subtitles in the bottom, and that actually made it really skyrocket. The interaction increased a lot after that, so I still remember that, and I'm very thankful for that as well. So I have to say, I think for anybody who's listening, Anastasiia is a great resource and a great person when it comes to especially how to market and communicate a lot of this technology, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on any of the other social media platforms. So I always appreciate those little tricks and advice you gave me way back. This was like almost a year and a half ago, I think.
Yeah.
So.
But I'm happy that you're like happy about it, because I remember you were not really asking my opinion. You just shared with me TikTok, and
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I'm like,
Well, you know what? I noticed you weren't saying anything. I'm like, you know what? I was like, I think she probably thinks it's terrible right now. I'm gonna ask her what she thinks.
yeah, I just was like, without even like
Yeah,
my opinion,
I
I was like,
remember.
I would suggest to change you a couple of things.
Right. No, and I appreciate that. So I kind of picked up that hint. I'm like, okay. So she's not really providing a whole lot of feedback or like reply. I'm like, okay, what's wrong with this? Well, what can I do better? What can I do better here? Because that probably was like 2 to 3 months in maybe of doing stuff like that. So hey, listen, everybody. Everything we do is a learning process. Trust me. There's nothing wrong with that. Failure and mistakes is how we learn. So, and I think that's also what makes it a lot of fun as well. So, as far as like conferences and events, so DIBA is going to be at Bitcoin 2022 in a few weeks. What other events will DIBA be doing this year as well?
Well, I would be mean as a marketing manager, and I would say, guys, follow us and stay on the loop for updates.
Right.
Um, but it's not me being mean, but it just, I believe we will go to New York City,
Awesome.
New York City NFT. Obviously, this event for sure on our radars, and we are interested in it. And I think the fun part about the New York NFT last even year was that DIBA was actually mentioned in the presentation, and
Oh wow.
it even wasn't like the artist with whom we were really in touch, and we
Yeah.
were so shocked. Like Helen, our community curator and also art curator, she was a New York City NFT week, and she was sitting on one of presentations, and she was like, "Oh my God, guys, DIBA was mentioned." And we get so confused because we were in pre-launch stage. We didn't know the artist personally, but the artist already knew about us, so we were already on their radars. So it's kind of exciting, I believe.
Awesome.
So this year it's kind of the throwback to the last year, and like with the new
Sure.
milestones. Obviously, we'll consider more events. If someone thinks like some Bitcoin events are really a great fit for
Sure.
us, we're all the time happy to kind of partner or communicate with everyone just to see how we can collaborate. But so far, I
Absolutely.
would just keep it a bit secret where we else can be
Sure.
found. So
Yes.
far, it's like Bitcoin Miami.
Got it. And for anybody who's listening, especially if you're in New York, Northern New Jersey, the tri-state area, what are the dates again for NFT New York City?
It should be in June.
Okay.
If I'm right, it's from 6th of June.
Okay.
I'm quite
I'll
not sure.
post it. I'll look it up after this, and I'll post it. I'll post it on my end. So that should be very exciting to say to Lucy. Give me a shout before you arrive as well. So as you know, I'm up here as well. So I'd love to meet. I'd love to connect with you and the team, and maybe we can collaborate on something when you all are up here.
Yeah, sure. Sounds exciting. I would say like don't give a shout out about like New York conference yet, because it's always like
Okay.
not really confirmed. We're planning to go there, but we
Got it.
haven't been confirmed, like in case what amount, well, how many
Yeah.
team members will go, and in kind of which way we're gonna collaborate with this event. But Miami Bitcoin for sure. Are you planning to join this year, Miami Bitcoin?
Actually, I'm not going this year. I'm actually going to be traveling that week for something else. But obviously, I'll definitely be around for the New York NFT conference as well. So and a few other things coming up. So yeah, I'll let you know for sure. And if anything changes at the last minute for Miami, I'll let you know as well. I do have a few friends who are just trying to kind of get rid of their tickets at the last minute, so I may end up doing some I may end up doing something different at the last minute. So I'll let you know. I'll let you know regardless.
Okay, lucky at least one of us will go then because I
Right.
didn't get my visa. So
Right. Yeah. No, it's going to be great. So when you do arrive down there, and have have as best of a time as you can. Speakers are great. Meeting the other entrepreneurs at the various kiosks are great too. They're probably going to have the NFT art gallery section again. A lot of great artists there as well. And of course, I mean, listen, it's Miami, so there's never going to be a boring, dull moment anyway. So there's always something fun to do. So it's gonna be great. So you're definitely gonna love it.
yeah, my team gonna love it. I didn't get visa this year, so it's like delays with visas, so I will not go. But my like DIBA team gonna be there, so I think we
Yeah,
still will be happy to meet everyone. And if
yeah.
anyone who listening us today will be around, more than happy to meet us in like gallery section.
Yes, be sure to check out DIBA and the gallery and their presentation at Bitcoin Miami this year. So listen, Anastasia, it was an absolute pleasure having you come on today and talk about DIBA, talk about UDAs, and talk about the technology this is built on. So I just want to reiterate to everybody, they will be at Bitcoin 2022 in Miami in a few weeks. So be sure to check them out.
Thank you. Thank you, Adam, for having me today. Thank you for your kind words. And I don't know, I'm really excited how you treat in UDAs and how much you like this term. So
I do
thank you.
like the term. Yeah, it's a great term, actually.
So, yeah, thank you for having me. It was absolute pleasure.
Likewise. And I'll talk to you later.
See
All right.
you.
Take
Bye
care.
bye.
Bye.